The Russian Federation's decision to cut off oil exports to countries that have put a price cap on Russian seaborne oil has sent shockwaves through markets around the world. In a bold move, Russia said that it would stop sending crude oil and petroleum products to other countries unless those countries agreed not to put any price limits on oil. This is more than just another geopolitical conflict. It is about setting boundaries, observing limits, and asserting control over a very valuable asset by one of the biggest players in international energy production. But what does this mean for world economic security? Let us find out in today's video. Before starting our video, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell for more amazing content. Now, let's get this video started. G7 price cap. An EU-wide ban on Russian crude oil imports by sea is already in force, with similar pledges from the United Kingdom, the United States, and others. The price cap attempts to restrict Russian oil earnings further. It prohibits the shipment of any Russian crude sold for more than $60 using G7 and EU tankers, insurance firms, or financial institutions. The G7 is home to many important worldwide shipping and insurance companies. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, on the other hand, branded the price cap a poor notion that was not serious enough to harm the Russian economy. Russia's finance minister, Anton Siluanov, has stated that the country's budget deficit may exceed the anticipated 2% of GDP in 2023 due to the oil price cap squeezing export income. Oil is currently trading at roughly $80 per barrel, well down from the peaks of above $120 seen in March and June. Russia oil export ban. Russia has now said that it won't sell oil or oil products to anyone who wants to put a price cap on oil. The ban would be in place for 5 months, from February 1 to July 1. This was written in a presidential decree. In the decree, it also said that Russian President Vladimir Putin could give special permission to countries that were banned from getting supplies from Russia. In September, the G7 group of major economies came up with the idea of a price cap to stop Moscow from using oil money to pay for the war in Ukraine. Even though demand for Russian oil in the West dropped after the invasion, Russia still made a lot of money because the price went up, and there was still a lot of demand from India and China. India exempted. To avoid the sanctions that the West has put in place, Russia has been selling its oil that is shipped by sea to countries like China and India at a 40 to 50% discount. Also, Russia is sure that it will find new buyers even after the West puts a price cap on its oil. India will not be affected by this decision because the Indian government has refused to accept the price cap that the G7 has put on Russian oil. India's Union Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas, Hardeep Singh Puri, said that the oil price cap wouldn't affect India. Russia has welcomed this decision by India. The Deputy Prime Minister praised India's decision not to support the price cap on Russian oil that the G7 and their allies put in place on December 5. The Russian Foreign Ministry said in a statement. Global markets. Another important thing to think about is how the price cap and Putin's decision will affect the energy markets around the world as a whole. Experts pointed out that oil refineries around the world are set up to refine different grades of oil. This suggests that there could be a possible reshuffling of buyers and sellers, which could cause a short-term mismatch between refineries and the oil they get. This can change how the prices of different grades of crude compare to each other, and is likely to make the difference between product prices and crude prices bigger in the long run as the refinery sector works less efficiently. Then, these price differences encourage investments that will, in the long run, make better use of capital. Already, the Russian Federation sells oil to a number of contractors, especially China and India, at a price that is much lower than the market price. With oil prices around the world around $80, the cap of $60 may not be very binding. Also, if countries that Russia sees as enemies have a big recession next year, this could cause prices to drop, which Russia's partners, like Saudi Arabia and other OPEC countries, will fix by cutting production to keep supply and demand in balance. Experts said that by 2022, oil-producing countries will have saved enough money to be able to handle big cuts if they happen. Russia is the world's second-largest oil exporter after Saudi Arabia, and significant disruption to its sales would have far-reaching consequences for global energy supplies. What are your thoughts on the whole Russia versus West rivalry? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your time. We'll see you later.